now 7 p.m. and the Bel Air Board of Town Commissioners meeting for July the 15th, 2024 is now in session. I'm going to call the roll. Commissioner Rutledge.
Here.
Commissioner Chismar.
Here.
Commissioner Chance.
Here.
And Commissioner Taylor did let us know that he would not be able to be here this evening due to a conflict in his schedule. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First on our agenda this evening is the approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion?
Yes, I move that we approve the agenda for this evening's meeting, July 15th, here at the Town Hall.
Thank you, Commissioner Chance. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Krantz? All right, first of all, is there any discussion of the agenda? No? Okay. Mr. Krantz?
Thank you. To vote to approve this evening's agenda, Commissioner Rutledge,
Aye.
Commissioner Chismar,
Aye.
Commissioner Chance,
Aye.
and Chair Edding.
Aye.
The agenda is approved.
Thank you, Mr. Krantz. Next, we have the approval of the minutes. Do I have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair. I move that the minutes of the Board of Commissioners meetings held on June 11th, 2024 and June 17th, 2024 be approved as submitted, including minutes for the following meetings. June 11th, 2024 Commissioners Work Session open meeting, June 11th, 2024 Commissioners Work Session closed meeting, and June 17th, 2024 Commissioners Town Hall meeting.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion of the minutes? Mr. Krantz?
No.
Thank you, Madam Chair. To approve the minutes for June 11th and June 17th, Commissioner Rutledge,
Aye.
Commissioner Chismar,
Aye.
Commissioner Chance,
Aye.
Chair Edding.
Aye.
The minutes are approved.
Thank you. And now we come to the presentation this evening to recognize Calvary Baptist Church for their good works with the Bel Air Police Department. You would step forward to the podium and join me. All right, Ed. Apparently this is on. So this evening we have from Calvary Baptist Church, Robin Payne. Thank you so much for coming. And Pastor Keith Hartlob. So Calvary Baptist Church has been a wonderful help to the Bel Air Police Department. Over the last 3 years, they have provided meals to the officers who are required to work during events that occur during or on some holidays. Every 4th of July and St. Patrick's Day, two of the longest days that our officers have on their working shift in the year, personnel from Calvary Baptist have graciously donated meals to the Bel Air Police Department. These are holidays when most citizens are off and enjoying time with family and attending amazing events and celebrations in the town of Bel Air. Incredibly, Calvary Baptist Church not only pays for these meals, but picks them up and then delivers them to the police department. At times, they stand by and greet the delighted officers who arrive to grab a meal and then return to their posts. This free service is a sacrifice that has become relied upon and is immensely appreciated by staff. It's a big deal for the officers to get a nice fresh meal so they can return to their posts recharged and prepared to serve and protect the citizens in our community. And we have Calvary Baptist to thank for that service. Lastly, the meal donation has likely saved the police department quite a bit of money over the last 3 years. And we can't thank Calvary Baptist Church enough for being an amazing community partner and an ally for law enforcement. We look forward to a continued partnership. And I want to thank you especially for, I think the officers feel not only fed, but appreciated. So thank you so much for everything that you do. Thank you. Thank you.
So Pastor Hartlob and Miss Robin, I will read this to you, and I want to thank you too for being like the unsung heroes of our department. And it's kind of like another great public service that you provide to us, and it's a great sacrifice. And the officers, and it's not only our officers, but we have allied agencies come in. It's probably 50 or 60 officers, and DPW comes in, and it's really something that they appreciate. And it was about time that we did this for you. But I'll read this to you. The Bel Air Police Department would like to recognize the assistance and support that Calvary Baptist Church has provided to our department and officers. Calvary Baptist Church has provided complete meals to our officers during many major holidays and details, including St. Patrick's Day and the 4th of July for the last several years. This has been a time saver and a blessing to our officers who are working on these holidays. This has made our officers feel very appreciated and supported. Additionally, this has saved our department money, time, and resources. Right? Yeah. We sincerely appreciate the partnership we have with our neighbors, Calvary Baptist Church. Your support of law enforcement does not go unnoticed. And thank you very much, sir and ma'am. Any pictures? Can we get some pictures, maybe?
Pictures will bookend.
And we also gave them some patches. I don't know if you want to. Yeah. Thank you. Yep. There we go. We'll see you next year, I guess, huh? Yeah. Hopefully.
All right, continuing with this evening's agenda, first we have a public hearing on ordinance 830-24, amending the code of the Town of Bel Air, Chapter 145, Building Construction. I'll open the public meeting at 7:07. Is there any member of the public here this evening that wishes to be heard on this piece of legislation? All right. In that case, I'm going to close the public hearing at 7:08. Next, we have the public hearing on ordinance 831-24, amending the code of the Town of Bel Air, Chapter 180, electrical standards. Is there any member of the public here this evening that wishes to address this piece of legislation? All right, then we have opened and closed the public hearing on that piece of legislation at 7:08. Ordinance 832-24, amending the code of the Town of Bel Air, Chapter 353, plumbing and gas fitting standards. Is there any member of the public here this evening that wishes to address this piece of legislation? And seeing no one, we are going to open and close that one at 7:08. And last on our list is Resolution 1233-24, fiscal year 2024 budget amendment. Is there any member of the public here that wishes to address this piece of legislation? And seeing none, we'll open and close that one at 7:08 as well. Having completed our public hearings, we will now move to unfinished business. Ordinance 830-24, amending the code of the Town of Bel Air, Chapter 145, building construction. Do I have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair. I move that ordinance number 830-24, rescinding and reenacting Chapter 145, building construction of the Bel Air Town Code, be approved by the Board of Town Commissioners.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second?
Thank you. And Mr. Klein? Did you wish to say anything on this piece of legislation? Previous meetings. Does anyone have any questions or any further discussion of this piece of legislation? No.
No, just to explain to the public again that these are national codes, correct?
Yes, sir.
That we're
The-
bringing up that Harford
This-
County has adopted, and we are adopting them mainly because, similarly for our building, electrical, and plumbing, because we use their inspectors.
Absolutely,
And this just makes things,
yes. So basically what we have here is the international building codes and international electric codes and international plumbing codes all were adopted
Okay.
by Harford County earlier this year. Being in line with them as they're our inspection agency, we should also adopt those same things that they will
Right.
be looking at during the building permit process.
right. Okay?
Thank you, Mr. Klein, for that explanation. Any other questions from the board? In that case, Mr. Klein, I think we're ready for a vote.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is for the vote on ordinance 830-24. Commissioner Rutledge,
Aye.
Commissioner Chismar,
Aye?
Commissioner Chance,
Aye.
and Chair Edding.
Aye.
Ordinance 830-24 is approved.
Thank you. Next, we have ordinance 831-24, amending the code of the Town of Bel Air, Chapter 180, electrical standards. Do I have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair. I move that the ordinance number 831-24, rescinding and reenacting Chapter 180, electrical standards to the Bel Air Town Code be approved by the Board of Town Commissioners.
Thank you, Commissioner Chance. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner Chismar. Is there any questions or discussion amongst the board? No, we've talked about this before. It's similar to the last piece of legislation. Mr. Krantz, I think we're ready for a vote.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the vote on ordinance 831-24, Commissioner Rutledge,
Aye.
Commissioner Chismar,
Aye.
Commissioner Chance,
Aye.
and Chair Edding.
Aye.
Ordinance 831-24 is approved.
Thank you, Mr. Krantz. Next, we have ordinance 832-24, amending the code of the Town of Bel Air, Chapter 353, plumbing and gas fitting standards. Do I have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair. I move that ordinance number 832-24, which rescinds and reenacts Chapter 353, Plumbing and Gas Fitting Standards, Section 353-1 through 353-9 of the Bel Air Town Code, be approved by the Board of Town Commissioners.
Thank you, Commissioner Chismar. Do I have a second?
I second that.
Thank you, Commissioner Rutledge. Any questions for Mr. Klein regarding this piece of legislation? All right, thank you.
No.
Mr. Krantz, I think we're ready for a vote.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is for the vote on ordinance 832-24. Commissioner Rutledge,
Aye.
Commissioner Chismar,
Aye.
Commissioner Chance,
Aye.
and Chair Edding.
Aye.
Ordinance 832-24 is approved.
Next, Resolution 1233-24, fiscal year 2024 budget amendment. Do I have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair. I move that resolution number 1233-24, amending the budget for fiscal year 2024 for additional revenues, appropriations, monetary adjustments, and transfers between departments, be approved by the Board of Town Commissioners with the following amendments. 1, income taxes. Increase the adjustment from $350,000 to $375,000 due to receiving the June distribution and adjusting for the decrease in the state aid for police protection. Paragraph 2, police protection grant. Decrease the adjustment from $36,825 to $12,129 due to receiving the final fourth quarter distribution, which was lower than the previous 3 quarters. 3, interest on investments. Increase the adjustment from $312,376 to $315,460 to balance the amendment. 4, planning and zoning capital improvements. Decrease the adjustment from $1,584,463 to $1,581,075 to account for a change order to Homestead Park for additional paving.
Thank you, Commissioner Rutledge. Thank you, Commissioner Rutledge. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Chance. Does anyone have any questions for Ms. Moody? No? All right. In that case, Mr. Krantz.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is for the vote on Resolution 1233-24, budgetary amendment for fiscal year 2024. Commissioner Rutledge,
Aye.
Commissioner Chismar,
Aye.
Commissioner Chance,
Aye.
and Chair Edding.
Aye.
The resolution is approved.
Thank you. Moving on to new business, we have Resolution 1234-24, Harford County 2023 Annual Growth Report. Do I have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair. I move that the resolution number 1234-24 outlining the 2023 Harford County Annual Growth Report be accepted by the Bel Air Board of Town Commissioners.
Thank you, Commissioner Chance. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner Chismar. Mr. Small?
Yes, Madam Chair. The state passed a law, Smart Growth Areas Act in 1997, which requires municipalities to adopt adequate public facilities as it regards to schools. In June and December of each year, Harford County Planning Department completes a growth report and forwards that growth report to each municipality. The town APF regulations restrict major subdivision approval in school districts where actual or projected enrollment exceeds 110% of the state-rated capacity of each school. Following receipt of this information, the growth report is then submitted to the Board of Town Commissioners at public meeting for acceptance. Based on the information contained in the report, the Planning Commission determines where residential development may occur during the next 6 months. Based on the attached information to your package provided by Harford County, Homestead Wakefield Elementary School is operating at 115% and projects to grow to 117% by 2025-2026 school year. All other schools currently serving the town are operating at less than 110% of rated capacity and will continue to do so over the next 3 years. Section 16521 of the Town Code prohibits Planning Commission approval of residential development greater than 5 units when adequacy standards are exceeded. Staff recommends the resolution 1234-24 2023 Harford County Growth Report be accepted by the Board of Town Commissioners.
Thank you, Mr. Small. Any questions for Mr. Small?
No.
And just for members of the public, these are numbers that are produced by the Harford County Board of Education, go to the county, and then come to us as report for information upon which the Planning Commission makes their decisions. We don't have any input into the numbers themselves.
Correct.
Right.
Okay. All right, is there any member of the public that is here this evening that wishes to make a comment on this topic? All right, there being none, and no further questions from the board. Mr. Krantz?
Thank you, Madam Chair. For acceptance of Resolution 1234-24, Commissioner Rutledge,
Aye.
Commissioner Chismar,
Aye.
Commissioner Chance,
Aye.
and Chair Edding.
Aye.
Resolution is accepted.
Thank you, Mr. Krantz. Next, under new business, we have the purchase of the Microsoft 365 Business Premium Basic Support Annual Subscription, the Azure Active Directory Premium P2 for Government Annual Subscription, and 2 PowerEdge R760 servers from Dell Marketing LP. Do I have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair. I move that the proposals from Dell Marketing LP for Microsoft 365 Business Premium Basic Support Annual Subscription, Azure Active Directory Premium P2 for Government Annual Subscription, and 2 PowerEdge R760 servers in the combined amount of $87,454.26 be approved by the Board of Town Commissioners.
Thank you, Commissioner Chismar. Do I have a second?
I second that.
Thank you, Commissioner Rutledge. And Mr. Krantz?
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's no secret to this one. It's exactly like it reads. This is for the purchase of the annual subscription for the Microsoft Office 365 Business Premium Basic Support, the Active Directory annual subscription, as well as 2 PowerEdge servers. The procurement was achieved by piggybacking on competitive bids with multiple contracts with the Microsoft 365 Business Premium. It was through a cooperative bid arrangement with Midwestern Higher Education Commission and Dell, and through the Azure Active Directory, also through the Midwestern Higher Education Commission and Dell. And then the 2 PowerEdge servers is through the Maryland Department of Information Technology through the state of Maryland is where we're able to piggyback on those contracts. So the staff does recommend that the commissioners approve these purchases.
All right. Any questions from the board for Mr. Krantz? Any members of the public here that wish to speak on this particular item? All right. In that case, Mr. Krantz, I think we're ready.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is for the vote of the Microsoft 365 Business Premium subscription, the Azure Active Directory subscription, and 2 PowerEdge servers. Commissioner Rutledge,
Aye.
Commissioner Chismar,
Aye.
Commissioner Chance,
Aye.
and Chair Edding.
Aye.
The purchase is approved.
Thank you. Next, under new business, is the purchase of the Cisco SmartNet support, Cradlepoint Net Cloud Services, Fortinet firewall licensing and support, Malwarebytes antivirus protection, and KnowBe4 security awareness training from SHI International Corp. Do I have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair. I move that the proposals for SHI International Corp. for Cisco SmartNet support, Cradlepoint Net Cloud Services, Fortinet firewall licensing and support, Malwarebytes antivirus protection, and KnowBe4 security awareness training in the combined amount of $35,626.85 be approved by the Board of Town Commissioners.
Thank you, Commissioner Rutledge. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Chance. Mr. Krantz?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Similar to the last purchase, we have several pieces of IT equipment and support software for a Cisco SmartNet, Cradlepoint, Fortinet Firewall, Malwarebytes, and the KnowBe4 security awareness training software. These were also procured through piggybacking on other competitive bids. The Sourcewell solicitation number for the Cisco SmartNet was a contract with SHI International and a State of Minnesota local government contract. That was also the same contract for the Fortinet Firewall, the Malwarebytes, and the KnowBe4 security. The Cradlepoint was purchased through the Maryland Department of Information Technology, similar to the last purchase as well. So these are all piggybacked on competitive bids. And staff recommends approval.
Thank you, Mr. Krantz. Any questions or comments from the board?
I think critical software to keep our IT department secure,
And it is a terrible nightmare if you
if you don't.
for sure. All right, any members of the public that wish to comment on this piece? All right, in that case, Mr. Krantz, we're ready.
Okay, this is the vote on the purchase of Cisco SmartNet support, Cradlepoint Net Cloud Services, firewall licensing and support, antivirus protection and security awareness training through SHI in the amount of $35,626.85. Commissioner Rutledge,
Aye.
Commissioner Chismar,
Aye.
Commissioner Chance,
Aye.
and Chair Edding.
Aye.
The purchase is approved. Thank you.
All right, next we have the purchase of the Barracuda Backup Server Unlimited Cloud Storage, Energize Updates, Instant Replacements, and Total Email Protection from System Source. Do I have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair, I recommend the motion that the proposals for the system source from Barracuda Backup Server Unlimited, cloud storage, Energize Updates, Instant Replacement, and Total Email Protection in the combined amount of $36,885.67 be approved by the Board of Town Commissioners.
Thank you, Commissioner Chance. Do I have a second?
Yes, I second.
Thank you, Commissioner Chismar. Ms. Krantz?
Thank you again, Madam Chair. Similar to the other ones, the Barracuda Backup and the Total Email Protection were also procured through competitively bid contracts. And these particular ones was a little bit unique. The Barracuda services are subscription-based and renew annually every fiscal year. The town of Bel Air was able to obtain the lowest cost from System Source, a Barracuda supplier. This was actually lower than the competitively bid quote obtained by SHI International with the city of Mesa, Arizona, in the amount of $40,101. And it was also lower than the quote directly obtained from Barracuda in the amount of $42,888. So the staff does recommend this purchase for the $36,885.
Thank you, Mr. Krantz. Any questions for Mr. Krantz? No?
No.
All right. Any members of the public that wish to comment on this piece of our agenda? All right. In that case, Mr. Krantz, we're ready.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is the purchase of the Barracuda Backup and the Total Email Protection through System Source. Commissioner Rutledge,
Aye.
Commissioner Chismar,
Aye.
Commissioner Chance,
Aye.
and Chair Edding.
Aye.
The purchase is approved. Thank you.
Next, we have the review of the change orders to the bituminous concrete resurfacing per town bid DPW-041724. Do I have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair. I move that the three change orders from Frank J. Gutner Construction, 1520 Edgewood Road, Edgewood, Maryland, to furnish all labor, materials, and equipment to wedge and level Dorsey Road and Foxcroft Drive, resurface a portion of Homestead Park Entrance Road, and mill and overlay the Circle Drive portion of Rockfield Manor using unit pricing from bid DPW-041724 in the amount of $53,174.00 be accepted by the Board of Town Commissioners.
Thank you, Commissioner Chismar. Do I have a second?
I second that.
Thank you, Commissioner Rutledge. and this will be Mr. Klein.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Stephen Klein, Director of Public Works. As mentioned in the motion, there are 3 change orders that we would like to request your approval for. Change order number 1 is to finish the remaining part of the access road that was not completed as part of the Homestead Park Improvement Project. The additional cost for this is $4,020. Change order number 2, it was determined by DPW staff that after the milling process for Foxcroft Drive and Dorsey Road, several sections of both roads had stone protruding through the base of the road, and that the additional wedge and level was needed to ensure integrity of both roads. The additional cost for this is $29,664. Finally, change order number 3. Town staff had originally scheduled to patch areas around the circle part of the driveway at Rockfield Manor. After looking at it more closely, it was determined that the area needed more than patching and that a milling machine and resurfacing the area was the best course of action to provide the best surface area. The additional cost for this is $19,490. As indicated, we are using unit prices from bid DPW 041724, bituminous concrete resurfacing, which allows us to obtain pricing for emergencies that come up during construction and any additional projects that may come along during the season. Funding for change order number 1 will be funded through a budget amendment, and change orders number 2 and number 3 will be funded by existing monies in the streets budget not used elsewhere. We were using savings from other line items that we did not spend this year. The staff recommends that the Bel Air Board of Town Commissioners approve the 3 change orders from Frank J. Gettner Construction. These change orders include providing all labor, all materials and equipment necessary to wedge and level Dorsey Road and Foxcroft Drive, resurface a portion of Homestead entrance, and level Dorsey Road and Foxcroft, and resurface a portion of Homestead Park entrance road, and mill and overlay the Circle Drive portion of Rockfield Manor in the amount of $53,174.
Thank you, Mr. Klein. Does any
Thank
member
you.
of the board have any questions for Mr. Klein? No? Is there any member of the public here that will wish to comment on this item? No? In that case, Mr. Grant.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is for the vote to approve the change orders to the contract for the bituminous concrete resurfacing. Commissioner Rutledge,
Aye.
Commissioner Chismar,
Aye.
Commissioner Chance,
Aye.
and Chair Edding.
Aye.
Change orders are approved.
Our last item under new business is appointment to the Board of Ethics. Do I have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair. I move that the appointment of David Muir to the Board of Ethics for a term of 4 years effective immediately be approved by the Bel Air Board of Town Commissioners.
Do I have a second?
I second that.
Thank you, Mr. Rutledge. Any discussion amongst the board? I know several of us have met Mr. Mueller and know him from Scouts or professionally.
Yes,
I think it'd be a great addition. I'm glad he stepped
I-
forward and is willing to take it
Yes.
on.
Yes, I think he'd also be a great addition. I mean, the kids growing up all had him in Scouts and stuff, and he was a big role model for them, and I think that'll,
And being a
be great for this
CPA,
committee. And being a CPA,
he's
yes.
got some skills in that area. So is there any member of the public that's here? I'm
I
sorry.
did want to add that, just for the public, that in addition to being a certified public accountant, he owns and operates his own business and has been very, solid business, successful business, proven himself to have integrity with his clients, with the, so in my opinion, he's a very good fit for a Board of Ethics, because CPAs obviously have to comply with a tremendous amount of rules and regulations and what they do for their clients, but they're also a highly regulated professional. So the concept of the ethical review or the challenges of that would not be foreign to him, be very familiar. So I think it's very fortunate that he is willing to step up and to serve the town in this capacity.
I agree. After serving for so many years with the Boy Scouts, he's now going to serve again in his capacity, and he does have his own small business right here in town with all of that goes along with being a CPA. So I think that does make him a terrific fit. I agree with you. All right. Is there any member of the public here that wishes to comment on this appointment? In that case, Mr. Krantz.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is for the vote to appoint David Mueller to the Board of Ethics. Commissioner Rutledge,
Aye.
Commissioner Chismar,
Aye.
Commissioner Chance,
Aye.
and Chair Edding.
Aye.
Mr. Mueller is approved.
All right, public announcements. Library branches throughout Harford County, including the branch here in Bel Air, will be open as cooling centers this week through Wednesday, July the 17th. An excessive heat warning is in effect through 8 p.m. Tuesday, and the heat index is expected to be as high as 110 degrees. The library branches will be open from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. during the week, and people can also charge their electronic devices, including oxygen concentrators, at the branches if there is a power outage. Visit the extreme heat page on the Harford County website for tips on how you can stay cool and hydrated and avoid heat-related illnesses. I don't think that was news to anybody. It's pretty hot out there, and I think most people are staying inside. Summer Movie Nights in Shamrock Park, hosted by the Bel Air Downtown Alliance, continues Friday, July 19th with a showing of Disney's live-action The Little Mermaid. The movie starts at 7:15 p.m. and admission is free. Fast Eddie and the Slowpokes will perform Sunday, July 21st in Shamrock Park as part of the Town of Bel Air's free summer concert series. The show begins at 7 p.m. Check the Town of Bel Air's social media pages or call 410-803-9784 after 4 p.m. the day of the concert for updates in case of inclement weather. The summer concert series runs through August the 18th with performances in Shamrock Park each Sunday starting at 7 p.m. All concerts are free. Visit the town website or our social media pages for a full schedule. The Board of Town Commissioners will not meet again until August. Our next work session is scheduled for Tuesday, August the 13th at 5:15 p.m., and the next Town Hall meeting will be Monday, August the 19th at 7 p.m. Both meetings will take place here in Town Hall and will be broadcast on our YouTube channel. The Committee for Seniors and Citizens in Need, formerly the Committee on the Elderly and Needy Citizens, will meet at 8:30 a.m. Wednesday, July 24th in the Bel Air Police Department Community Room. The Historic Preservation Commission will meet at 6 p.m. Thursday, July 25th at 6 p.m. in Town Hall. And the Planning Commission will meet at 6 p.m. Thursday, August the 1st in Town Hall. The
Madam,
form-
I'm
yes.
sorry. I just found out about an hour ago that we don't have a quorum for the August 1st meeting. We were able to get one for the August 15th.
All
meeting.
right, then that correction will be the Planning Commission will not meet at 6 p.m. on Thursday, August the 1st, but will meet on August the 15th.
Correct.
At 6 p.m. here in Town Hall. Thank you for that correction. The Christmas in July bar crawl will be July the 27th from 12 noon to 7 p.m. August the 2nd will be another First Friday from 5 to 8 p.m. I believe that's the last First Friday, is it? They continue in October. All right, so we got a couple more to look forward to. And Saturdays from 8 to 12, there is the farmer's market. That will continue until fall as well, I think, over at the Mary Ristow Building at 2 South Bond. And the Farm Fair starts this Saturday, July the 20th, and continues through Saturday, July the 27th. Is there a Board of Appeals meeting on July the 16th at 6 p.m.?
No, ma'am.
All right, so there is none, even though that's their usually scheduled date. There will not be one this month. So anything I missed? Anybody have any additions? All right, then. We're on to public comment. This period of our meeting, the public may comment on any item, whether it was on our agenda or not. Is there any member of the public here that wishes to express an opinion on anything? No? All right. On to commissioners' comments. Commissioners' comments?
Madam Chair, I just wanted to extend, publicly my sympathy and gratitude for the survival of President Trump, and pray for the families of those who, have lost lives in this event, this tragedy. I think and pray for the recovery of those that are injured and the continued healing of our nation.
Couldn't agree more. Anyone else? All right, I had a couple of things. One, Department of Public Works, in your absence, was still on the ball, Mr. Klein. There was a light out in the Major's Choice development. It was on social media, and they were questioning whose responsibility was it to fix, the towns, the HOAs, and BG&E, of course, was the answer. Your folks made the report, and it was very quickly addressed by BG&E. So, and it happened like during the 4th of July period when you guys were like extremely busy, but they were right on top of it. So,
That's good. I was keeping up with those emails.
I saw that you did pipe in on that one. Yes.
Unfortunately, it got fixed
I know, they thought, it turned out not to be just a bulb, but some wiring issue, and they thought it was going to take till the end of July, but it was fixed pretty promptly, so we appreciate that assistance. I would like to have short-term rentals on our next work session. I think it's time to turn our attention to that. And we can have a full discussion of everyone's opinion on where we should go with short-term rentals. The Historic Preservation Commission, it's probably time now to start contacting the delegation about changing the state law, having a local bill. So I'll be discussing that with you as the liaison to the Historic Preservation Commission. I certainly understand every reason that they had was a good one, why we shouldn't change the town code. The problem is that it was required by state law. But I think it's really not really a big ask to ask the local delegation for a local bill to change it so that they can do it the way they had been doing it, and it makes a lot of sense to do it that way. So we can discuss, maybe I should come and talk to the Historic Preservation Commission about it, and they should maybe, I think it would be very helpful to be able to tell the local delegation officially that they are in favor of this change. And the other thing was, we have been seeing a lot of talk from the state about budget cuts, even though they practically just finished their budget. I know I had forwarded some to the chief because it looks like that's going to be a place that's going to be cut. Of course, we have no idea if that's going to be $5 or 50% or what. And I did find another. It's only like a 7-page document about like all of the proposed cuts across the board. So I was going to email that to everybody, particularly Lisa Moody, to see which of those areas we think might impact us. And again, unfortunately, we won't know until they tell us how much money that's going to be. But it's unfortunate that as soon as they have finished their budget, they are making cuts, and we have to deal with that. Commissioner Taylor and I attended like a meet and greet with the Secretary of Community Development and Housing for the state, Jake Day, who was the prior president of MML, actually. And then on the following day, on July the 9th, I went to sort of a roundtable. Jenny Earhart was there from the Downtown Alliance. We talked about the Restore grant that has, I think that's the biggest grant that we can recall, at least being awarded in the town, $300,000, and it was the max under that program. And it'll be a terrific help to getting that building back in good shape. It's a beautiful building, but the work to bring it up to its former grandeur is a huge expense. So that's a terrific thing. I also met with a bunch of other people, with the Maryland Department of the Environment's secretary. I should have had somebody from DPW come, but they didn't actually give me an agenda. And it turned out to be like a very technical thing. However, much of it we don't have because we don't treat our wastewater and we don't do water. Maryland American does that. I did put in our, what I have heard you say a number of times, that complying with that MS4 permit is very difficult, that the projects are expensive, and mentioned the one project that we have at Webster McCormick, and that grant money from the state will be a good thing, since they're imposing all these requirements on us without any money, and after you do the less expensive things, it gets very pricey very quickly.
I did read some information today about some grants for clean water, and it really tends to disadvantaged areas more so than a town like ours, so it's a little tough. It's very competitive to
All right.
get those money, so we got our eyes on them, and we'll keep our eyes on them and try to get the first one available.
I appreciate that. And if there's anything else that you would have liked me to say at that meeting, or would have said if you were there, if you send me an email, I will forward it. I got business cards, and I will send you copies of all the business cards of the folks that were there, who, whose job it is to help the local jurisdictions comply with all the requirements that they have. So I'll pass that along.
Thank you.
All right. Any other commissioners' comments?
No, but just one, and that is, I really do want to congratulate economic development and the fact that we have secured this grant. It's amazing to me how difficult a grant can be and the expertise that goes into writing a grant proposal. And I really appreciate all the hard work that your department does.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Chance. That grant was submitted by the Downtown Alliance, but in partnership with the town of Bel Air, and
Mhm.
our grant writer did assist with that. Stephanie Zahn did a fantastic job for the Alliance, and
Yeah.
we were thrilled while she was on vacation last week to message her to let her know the good news. So thank
What
you
a-
very much.
What a huge win, $300,000. That is a huge, huge
On
win.
the heels, so last week was that we were voted best suburb and got the grant. It was a good week in economic development.
It was, that is like also a huge feather in everyone's cap, because you don't get that, without having a safe community, a clean community, well-run town. It is a huge, huge plus for us, so.
Correct. We were very pleased for all of the departments on that recognition.
That's great. All right. Anything else among commissioners' comments? In that case, we have reached the point of our agenda where we will be moving into closed session. Do I have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair. I move that this meeting be closed under the provisions of the Maryland Open Meetings Act, General Provision Article, Section 3-305B7, to consult with counsel to obtain legal advice regarding the Barton Bott et al. Versus Town of Bel Air, Maryland case. And the reason for this is because public discussion of confidential information and/or legal strategies can compromise the attorney-client privilege and inhibit the ability of the public body to receive candid and uninhibited legal guidance.
Thank you, Commissioner Rutledge. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Chance. Any discussion of this?
Madam Chair, I just would like to, because of the nature of this topic, I'll be recusing myself from the session.
Thank you, Commissioner Chismar. And Mr. Hopkins, which of your department heads can we let go?
I will need Lisa Moody and Kevin Small to stay.
Oh.
Everyone else can leave.
There you go.
Thank
All right. And Mr. Krantz, if you could take the vote.
Yep, the vote to move into closed session. Commissioner Rutledge,
Aye.
Commissioner Chismar,
Abstain?
Commissioner Chance,
Aye.
and Chair Edding.
Aye.
We are in closed session.
Thank you, Mr. Krantz.
And I believe we